I remember the first time I was called a faggot was when I was 13 years old walking through the hallways of my middle school, and kids would just come up to me, yell at me that I was a faggot, whisper under their breath that I was gay, and before I knew it, another rumor had been spread about me. And growing up for anyone is really tough because you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. There's so many things that are going on in your mind and your body, and growing up gay is even harder because you feel like you have no one to talk to about what you're going through, and you feel alone, and you don't have anyone telling you that what you're feeling is normal and it's okay. And it quickly, I didn't know what it meant to be confident when I was younger. And my freshman year of college is when I really hit rock bottom, and this was the point where I realized that I was definitely going to have to come out to my friends and my family at some point. And it took me down a road that I could never have imagined ever going down. And I would go out with my friends every night to the point where I would black out. I would smoke weed all the time in hopes that I would be able to numb the pain, and I would cry myself to sleep every night as I prayed to God that it wasn't true, and I didn't want to accept the truth. And eventually, without even realizing what my life had come to, I gained 30 pounds, and I was so miserable that I decided to transfer to Virginia Tech, and I was still mentally really sick. I didn't want to accept it still. I lived in fear, and I lived with insecurities on my mind all the time. And I was holding back all my potential because I was scared to be the person that I was born to be. And after fighting it for a long time, I realized that I was going to have to tell my parents. So one night, sitting in our living room, we were watching TV, and I just kept staring at them, and I couldn't believe that I was about to change their lives forever, and they didn't even realize what was coming. And I wasn't really nervous to tell my mom, but I was very scared to tell my dad because I come from a conservative family, I come from a religious family, and I felt like telling him was giving up his idea of the American dream for me, and I didn't really know where we would stand after the conversation. So I held back throw up, I held back tears, and I eventually got the words out. My mom started crying. She said, "I can't believe you've gone through all this by yourself." And my dad and my mom said that it didn't change anything and that they loved me regardless. And I knew it was going to be okay, but in my mind, it really wasn't. And I would continue to black out all the time because I was scared to lose friends. And I was scared of the future. And it got so bad that I went to a therapist to talk about my anxiety. And after the second session, I left feeling so irritated because I realized that I put myself in that situation and I was causing my own unhappiness. I was going to be the one to take control of my life again. I was going to be the one to accept the truth. And nothing anyone ever told me was going to change that. And if my friends didn't support me, they were never my friends in the first place. So that is when I started going to the gym as an outlet. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know what to eat. I ate processed foods all the time. I didn't know what macronutrients were. And so it was at that point that I truly devoted my life to fitness, and it's changed my life ever since. I've learned so much about training, so much about eating, so much about food, and I am so thankful to have gone through this experience because I wouldn't be the same person I am today if I hadn't gone through it. And I am happy and I'm confident for the first time in my life, and it feels so amazing. And I know that from the bottom of my heart that I'm meant to help people through health and nutrition get through their battle just like I got through mine. And I know what it's like to feel like you're nothing. I know what it's like to not have confidence. And I'm going to help people get through and deal with their weaknesses to ultimately live a more fulfilling life and live the life that they deserve and that they've always wanted to live.